Hello, how are you, friends? This is April Perry with LearnDoBecome.com, here to help you out of the overwhelm. I am so grateful that you're here for the podcast. Today, we're talking about 4 principles for a solid weekly review. And the reason I'm talking about this is because inside of our Steps to Everyday Productivity program, our steppers, I hear all the time that weekly reviews feel overwhelming. They feel hard. They don't want to get to them. So our members will set up their command centrals and maybe start off with a lot of energy, but the weekly review maybe feels like, it's just not going to happen. I can't maintain it. But you can maintain it, and it doesn't need to feel hard. And I want to share 4 things today that I think will hopefully give some new perspective and help you to see you can absolutely do it. If you're brand new, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. And building a command central, I know it's going to change your life, and maintaining it is how you keep that energy, positivity, and all of that peace and mental clarity going for the rest of your life. As I contemplated the best way to teach this, I thought, you know what? It's really helpful to think about our weekly review like cleaning out our refrigerator. But I want you to hear me out because you might be thinking, what are you talking about, April? Here's the thing. The 4 principles I'm going to talk about today, they apply to the refrigerator just like they apply to your weekly review. And it's because we use our refrigerator all the time. The things in there are timely. We need to get to them. There's a spectrum of how it can look and feel. And so anyway, so stick with me. The weekly review, like cleaning the fridge. Okay, so principle number 1. We want to decide on the standard we're working toward. On one end of the spectrum, our fridge would be spotless with nothing moldy or expired, and everything is in tidy matching containers, organized hopefully in rainbow colors, right? And you're like, does anyone actually eat that food or does it just stay? Because I don't want to ruin the rainbow, right? Okay, so on the other end of the spectrum, our refrigerator would be more like a science project, and you just open and close the door as fast as you possibly can. When I was growing up, I didn't know how to clean a refrigerator. My mom was probably the only one who did it, but our refrigerator typically wasn't super clean. And so I would just only look at the things at the very beginning, at the very front of the refrigerator. I wouldn't go back too far because I just didn't know what I would find. And my poor mom, I should have been more helpful, but I really wasn't helpful. Anyway, when I went to college and took my cleaning checks, I learned how to actually clean a fridge, and it's been amazing. And now having a refrigerator where I can open it at any time, and sure, it's not perfect, but for the most part, the food is good and clean and easy to find things, right? So you need to just think about your spectrum. Right now, think about your own fridge. What's okay for you for a fridge? What's that kind of standard you're going for? Now, the weekly review, think about the spectrum there. It can either leave you with a totally organized calendar and up-to-date lists and a clear desk and appropriately filed digital items and 0 stray sticky notes, like everything is just exact. Or for your weekly review, you could just kind of jump in and do the bare essentials that will allow you to get by. Now, I want to be clear that I'm not trying to be judgy at all. For example, if right now your life is just so full that your refrigerator is the last thing on your mind and you're just thinking, you know what, it's fine. I can't deal with the fridge right now. Well, that's fine. That's where you are right now. And that's according to your personal values and priorities and your needs. And maybe you're kind of in survival mode. And so, of course, you don't have to have a fridge that just looks, ideal to what you would if that was your only job, was just to keep the fridge clean. But it's the same thing with a weekly review, where if right now you can just do the bare essentials. Actually, in our program, we have a bare essentials weekly review and we have a full weekly review, so people can kind of pick. But that's okay if you just need to do the bare essentials. There are periods of time, like when I've had some surgeries and I was really sick, I wasn't sitting down doing everything. I was just looking through my inbox saying, is there anything that's going to be overdue that I'm going to have to pay a fine on if I don't get to it? That was literally all I was doing. I wasn't pre-planning. I wasn't doing any of it. So I just want you to decide what's the standard you're working toward during this season in your life. And then I want you to be good with that. And let's not beat ourselves up if it's not, as great as we wish it were, okay? So just say, given what's on my metaphorical plate, what matters to me right now? How much bandwidth do I have? And what's that standard that feels just right? Okay, now I'm going to move forward into the next principles, kind of assuming we're going for a middle of the road to slightly more organized weekly review, slightly more complete weekly review. I'll kind of take it from there. All right, principle number 2. We want to get a clear view of what we're working with. So going back to refrigerator, I personally do like a 20-minute deep clean of our refrigerator about twice a month. Maybe weekly if we have a lot going on, but right now with just 3 of us in the home, twice a month typically works. So I turn on some music, I take everything out of the fridge, and I do a quick sort on the kitchen counter. So items go on the left of the counter are the things that need to be cleaned out or tossed. Like if there's someone saved some leftovers, but nobody ate it, like no one wants to eat this now, right? And so stuff that needs to be cleaned out is on the left. Then any produce that's still good, that goes on the right. And then all the stuff that's, gallon of milk, the peanut butter or whatever it is, almond butter, things that just are going to go back in that are fine, that just goes in the middle. So 20 minutes, I do my quick sort, and then I have a clear view of what I'm working with, okay? For a weekly review, I also like to see the big picture. And so I put together a little series of questions that I ask myself and kind of what I think about when I go into my weekly review. What projects am I working on right now? Has anything suddenly come up or have my priorities changed? What's on my next actions list? Am I procrastinating anything on here? If so, why? How many routines am I trying to do? Am I feeling spread too thin, or do I have more bandwidth? I could add in some routines. Does my calendar have white space, or am I cluttering every minute of every day? Is there anything from the past week that needs a follow-up? Anything coming next week that requires preparation? How many papers, emails, messages, etc. need my personal attention? And have any piles or unneeded items built up in my planner or on my desk? So I just kind of ask myself those questions and this for me, because I've been doing this for a long time, this is like, maybe it takes me 5 minutes to just kind of look around and assess, maybe even less. It's just kind of a quick assessment of, am I overwhelmed right now? And the point of this weekly review is just totally simplify. Or am I doing great and I've got a ton of bandwidth and I'm more in creative mode right now? Kind of like if you're cleaning the fridge. If my counter is full and I'm thinking, we have so much food, I do not need to go shopping. I need to figure out how we're going to eat this and make some creative meals or something like that. Or like right now, our fridge has hardly anything in it. So if I were to clean it out, literally we have hardly anything. So I need to make a shopping list and go to the store. Okay. So just that ability to just figure out what we're working with. This is where you don't want to just shove a bunch of stuff into the back of your fridge and let it go moldy and then pretend out of sight, out of mind. No, like you want to have clean, sanitary place where you can put the food that you eat. And same with the weekly review. We don't want to just shove all of our projects and tasks and bills and all the problems, just shove them under the rug and let's forget about them. We just want to learn to be able to look at them. And I need to pause on this for just a moment because this is one of the most important reasons for having a command central. It's teaching your brain that you can handle whatever is coming at you and you can decide where your energy is going to go. You are not going to just shove things in piles, put them out of your mind, pretend they don't exist, and then just go sit online and play games or something like that. Like you have the ability to manage what's coming at you. This is going to increase your confidence, your feelings of dignity. It's going to help you to be able to feel capable, responsible. This is really important. There are far too many people who just don't want to deal with life. And I'm sure you've either been there like I've been there, or maybe you've been around people who are going through that. And this is a skill, learning how to do this weekly review and learning how to look at what we're dealing with. This is really, really important. Okay, I think I've said that enough. All right, principle number 3. We need to make space for what's most important. And I know this feels so obvious. And one of our, phrases here at Learn to Become is, so helping individuals, right? Helping us to get out of that overwhelm so we can do what matters most. So going back to that refrigerator, once I've wiped down our fridge shelves and wiped down the drawers, and I'm not like super meticulous, but get a nice warm rag, maybe a little soap on it, get it cleaned up. Once it's all clean, I put back all the produce, the other items that are still good, things our family will eat in the coming week. And I try to put, the things I want them to eat up higher, right? Eye level. Let's put these nice strawberries right here. Don't forget that, And so this is this little process. Get it all clean. Put back the things that really matter most. Same thing with a weekly review. So I have another little list of bullets. I'm just going to read these off for you. Okay. So I start with my current projects list. Like, what am I trying to accomplish by the end of this month? I create a fresh next actions list. I have a little bookmark that I use in my planner, and I just put a few tasks that I truly want to accomplish. I find if that next actions list has any more than like 5 or 6 things on it, I don't look at it that much. But it's just a few tasks. I get them all done. I make sure that my autopilot routines are actually supporting my goals. And then if there's something I keep forgetting to do, I might make some reminders to help me throughout the week. Sometimes there are, routines, especially in parenting, that I just don't want to do because I know they're going to be met with resistance. So I'm just thinking, I just don't want to fight. Not that there's a lot of fighting, but, sometimes what moms want and what the children want are not the same. Okay, so if there's a routine I'm just not doing, I might make a reminder, or maybe that's a discussion item, right? Kind of get that thing moving. I also look at my calendar and make sure I'm carving out time for my self-care, family, work, and community engagements. And I make sure I'm not accepting too many commitments or setting myself up for overwhelm. This really has been a problem for me in the past because I'm thinking, oh yeah, I would like to have some self-care, but that's okay. I take care of myself enough, Or let's say I do a ton of family and community engagements and I provide no time to get my work done. Well, then I'm going to have a bunch of projects that aren't moving forward and maybe people who were depending on me to get something done and then I didn't, right? So and of course it'll ebb and flow, but especially with us where we are self-employed, I really do need to make time for that because it's really easy for, especially people who know that I run my own thing. Oh, April, you're available to do anything. Like, well, kind of, right? But it's that ability to create good boundaries, good plans, that type of thing. Okay, I'll move on. After I've looked at all those things, I tidy up my desk, planner, computer desktop, email, etc., process items from the inbox, remove anything that's unnecessary, and make sure I have time set aside to do the work that's required. And that work isn't just professional work. It's things like responding to those emails or doing something that I had screenshotted and put on my desktop because it was something I needed to send to someone or whatever. The important thing, though, is that you make sure you have time scheduled or that you're going to be working on your current projects, next actions list, things like that, but you don't actually do the work during the weekly review. I feel like I need a big sign that says, during your weekly review, don't do the work. This is where you make decisions and you put things where it belongs, but you don't actually do the work. I'm thinking this might be one of those other things that gets people stuck is because either they try to do the work during the weekly review and then the weekly review takes 5 hours and then they never want to do it again because who has 5 hours, right, to do a weekly review? Or when they are looking at the amount of work they have and then they look at their calendar and their responsibilities, they know there's a mismatch and then there's stress because, right, if you see I have 85 hours of work to do and I have 20 available hours to do it, that can make you feel kind of sick to your stomach. So then we think, well, how about I just go eat some ice cream or do something else? But what if when you see that imbalance, you say, okay, how can I either open up more time to get some work done, or how can I renegotiate with myself my expectations? Now you can create that balance, and that's another really important part of a weekly review. We have to be able to step back and look at our calendar and look at our expectations for ourselves and look at what's coming and then provide plenty of buffer because things don't usually go as planned. So having that ability to see the big picture and then be honest with ourselves and create a very even match between what you expect and what you have time to do, that's really going to help you a ton. I know for me, it makes a big difference. And I also kind of look at my monthly cycle. Sorry for the guys who might not want to be talking about this. But I look at my monthly cycle and I say, how's my energy right now? And do I need to have maybe some lower energy tasks in there or shift things around? Because again, I don't want to have meltdowns and be freaking out around my family, which I wish I could say I've never had a meltdown or freaked out. But I do sometimes, and especially it's when I have way too much planned, I have low energy, I get sick, something goes on, and then I'm kind of a basket case. And who wants to be a basket case? No one wants to be a basket case. So anyway, hopefully that can help. All right, and principle number 4, just make sure we're prepared for the week. I typically clean my fridge right before a grocery order or shopping trip, so I don't buy duplicates or, I don't buy too much. Like if I have 3 heads of romaine lettuce, I'm not going to buy 3 more heads of romaine lettuce. I'm thinking, why did I not eat salad this week? So it's really helpful. Otherwise, if you just go to the store and you're thinking, wait, what do we have? I've done that so many times. You just end up with more of the wrong things and not enough of the right things. I mean, at least that's me. But if I clean the fridge right before I make the grocery list, that's so easy. Then I can plan out a few meals, figure out what we need. And then when you have this nice clean fridge, not only is it easy to make the list, but when you bring home the groceries, you just put it all back in and it's lovely. That's the power of having a good routines list too. So if I know, okay, Fridays is when I put in a grocery order, and like our grocery store will do it for free. They'll just gather it all for you. You go pick it up. It's amazing. So many stores do that now, or, that type of thing. But even if you're the one going shopping and you like it and you want to be there, awesome. When you come home and the fridge is already clean, it's like this little present that you give yourself. And the thing is, I like doing stuff like this. I enjoy being the one who's thinking about my family and planning ahead and thinking about the nourishment that we're going to have or being prepared for the week, right? And so thinking about that, not just on a fridge level, but in a weekly review, the goal isn't just to have a clean desk or do a bunch of tasks. And I just need to be really clear about that. My goal in sitting here and recording this podcast is not to say, hey, you need to do more and you need to make yourself super fancy and special and you need to try to win the race of getting the most things done in the whole world so you can win. No, that's 100% not why I'm here. I want you to have a calm mind. That's my goal. Because guess what? When you have a calm mind, you're going to be able to be present with your family and your loved ones. You're going to hear your higher power, which if I can help unlock that for you, I can't think of a better gift. And you're going to be able to be creative because your mind is going to be in that nice calm mode. And you're going to be available when that person knocks on your door and needs some help. And when a challenge comes and you're billed wrong and you've got to sit on the phone for 2 hours, your mind's calm and you can have a list of your other tasks you can work on while you're on hold or whatever it is. You're going to be okay. And that feeling of being prepared for the week, it's something I didn't know existed for most of my life. I would, do my homework and check things off my list. But every time I went into a week, I had this feeling of just nervousness. Like, well, what if I forget something? And what if something else happens? And did I remember all the little details? And even, right now in our family, as I look, especially when we have really busy weeks, okay, we've got 2 birthdays in our family and we're all going to have dinner together. What do I need? Okay, I have a meeting with this person on this day and I need to have these 5 things prepared in advance. They're replacing the carpet in that room on Monday. We need to get all the furniture out by Saturday so it's ready Monday morning. Things like this, right? So when you can look at the whole week ahead and then you can backtrack and you can schedule time to move that furniture or prepare that report or make that list or buy that food or whatever it is, then when the time comes for the event, you're feeling excited and you're feeling prepared and you think, oh my goodness, like I am ready. It feels so great. So I put together 5 words that I would use to describe how I want you to feel when you're done with your optimal weekly review. Okay, so this is how I would describe the state of mind that we want. Focused, calm, clear, confident, and excited. And I'm sure there's like thousands of more words that could describe it, but you get the picture. But my goal is for you to get a lift when you think about your coming week. And sometimes when there's things like, well, I've got to get immunizations for someone, or I need to go do this terrible thing at the courthouse, like, or I have to go deal with this really challenging personality, or I need to, whatever. Like sometimes it feels like super heavy as you think about it. But when you know, hey, it's life and there's hard stuff coming, but I'm prepared as much as I can be, it gives you a lift. And so that little, that's the feeling that I want you to have. And really, it doesn't mean everything's easy. Because right now, you are likely dealing with some pretty difficult challenges. And that's one of the things that I want to be just really aware of. And I try to think about as often as I can. Because I know that just from hearing from our community members, there are some really, really, just traumatic, difficult, really challenging things that I haven't experienced all of that. I don't know. But my heart is just going out to you. And I think, well, if I can at least alleviate your burden a little bit mentally, then that's something to help you move in a positive direction. Because when you know your efforts are at least moving you forward, it feels really, really good. I actually just want to share this little message that just brought tears to my eyes that I just got, I don't know, maybe an hour ago. Taryn checks our messages on social media. And one of our Step Mastery members sent this to us. And she said, please let April know this 74-year-old newly diagnosed with operable breast cancer has gained a calm I didn't know existed. So many have described me recently as strong. I do have a determined mind that the lumpectomy and radiation therapy will extend my life and will spread happiness wherever I am. I owe them a big thank you for coming into my life at a time I hadn't realized was perfect timing. So that's just one of them that really touched me, because thinking about this woman who, you could just hear in what she wrote, I'm going to spread happiness wherever I am. I'm going to extend my life. I'm going through this. There's no way that that's easy. She's not waking up thinking, wow, let me put this lumpectomy and radiation on my weekly review or on my calendar for the week. No one is seeking that, but you can hear that now she's gained a calm she didn't know existed. And she's now able to get the details, right? The details with the doctor appointments, the recovery, the medication, the follow-up, the rules to stay healthy while she's recovering, all these things. And she's learning how to not just manage it, but how to manage it beautifully. And I just send a huge hug and all my love. It's these stories that, this is why I keep doing what I'm doing. And I know I'm just sitting here talking about cleaning refrigerators, which really at the end of the day, does it really matter? Refrigerator doesn't really matter. But if you know you can maintain a weekly review, as silly as it sounds, it's not just like another meeting. This is a time for you to calm your mind, clear all your thoughts, be able to prepare for that week. I just know it's going to make a difference for you. And we don't all know the challenges that are coming, right? We know challenges are coming because they just always do. But if we can prepare when we are healthy and when we are feeling strong and get it built, it's just going to serve us into the future. So if you are brand new and you're thinking, what is a Step Command Central? please come to learndobecome.com/step, and you can learn more about it. I have a free training to get you started. And if you are not yet in our Arise membership, we are so grateful for our amazing community of Arisers. We got to meet to talk about boundaries this past month, which that conversation literally changed my life because I went and made some new decisions, and it totally changed the way I decided which projects to work on, and helped me recognize some blocks and some resentment I was harboring. And so anyway, I feel so good. That was so good. So that class is in the Arise membership right now. And next month, we're talking about routines, which is so good. And honestly, I feel like I can't ever learn enough about how to optimize routines because it just keeps getting better and better and better. And then routines don't even feel like a hassle. They just feel like they're serving you and they're just on autopilot and they are amazing. So that class is going to be taught by Taryn. If you know Taryn, one of our step coaches, she's awesome. Anyway, you can learn more about the Arise membership at learndobecome.com/arise. Okay, I think that's all for today. I just love you. And I look forward to getting to know you more. And I hope you will comment if you want to let me know how your weekly review went. And okay, we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.